Thank you for inviting me, and I'm really proud to be here and honored to speak to you today. And Future Heroes hold a special place in my heart because my daughter is actually a graduate of this program. Karina, hi, say hi to the girls. So, and I know that actually she learned a lot here, and I really hope that you will as well. The reason why I chose the name for my presentation is Yes You Can, because I really want you to remember this line, and whenever you feel doubts in your mind about what you do, about should you be doing something or are you scared to do something, please remember this line, because everything in life is possible. And I think that my story will also kind of give you some real life examples about how you think that things are impossible, but you can actually do them. A bit about me. A few facts as I was introduced that yeah, I started my career in the banking, then a lot of different roles followed. I will touch all of these roles and how I got there. But actually, when the time goes by, then you put in your CV like the best places, and a lot of people don't put like other things they have done in life, because like from that perspective, maybe my CV looks really good, but it doesn't say that I actually started to work at 15 years old, and when I was still in high school, and then I worked in Jūrmala in some cafeterias and some shops just to be able to earn some pocket money for myself. So of course I didn't put that in like my public CV. Another thing is that when I started studying, I worked in a casino at night. Because that was the way for me to be able to support myself. And it was like really crazy time, because I worked at night. Then my night shift ended at 6 a.m. in the morning, and then at 8:30 a.m. I started my lectures in university. So it was really crazy. But again, I didn't put it here because I wanted to mention what are actually the most important career choices in my life and how I got there. Now I'm working as a CEO of the company Vairog, which you probably, I believe, not many people have heard of, but actually in Latvia we are producing the bullets for Latvian armed forces, and actually majority of them is now sent to Ukraine. And this is a totally different area. I had never thought in my life that I would work there, but you know, you never know how things in life happen. But actually, to begin my story, so this is me. I think I'm 5 years old. At that time, this is Riga Circus. I remember that still, and that was actually the time when I was really happy in my life. And my mother was Latvian, my father was Russian. I think it's a story that is similar to a lot of your stories, probably as well. And so from my childhood, I learned 2 languages. But then when I was 7 years old, then my parents divorced, and I stayed with my mother here in Latvia, and my father moved to live in Russia. So basically, I met him maybe on a regular basis, but not so often as if he would have lived here in Latvia. And then, actually, when my parents divorced, somehow I was a bit lost, and I really lacked self-confidence in many areas. And my best friend actually was my diary. So when I was little, I was writing a diary, and here are some excerpts from this diary that I found actually many years later, that I still have it, and this was a surprise for me as well. And so this is 1994, and I'm writing that I started to train in tennis, and I like it, and I would want to become a tennis star, but like my physical looks are not fit for that. And then in 1996, it's two years later, it's that I want to be an actress. But again, I don't look pretty well to do that. And now I'm reading this and I'm thinking, oh my God, poor girl, what were you thinking? Actually, you know, it's just the things that we create like blocks in our minds. that actually stop us from doing something. Because maybe if I would have chosen another path in my life and become an actress actually, or did these things, then maybe my life would have turned otherwise. But I needed some encouragement at that time, somebody who would say, come on, you look great, you can do everything you want, but I really lacked that at this point. But again, you know, sometimes in life things happen again in a different way. So I dropped the tennis. Of course, I didn't become any tennis star, but now when I'm 42 years old, I've started to train again in tennis with my daughter together. So we are doing like weekly tennis lessons. So you can always come back to the things that you actually like. And then when I was finishing the high school, so it was year 2000. And in that year, actually, it was still like a quite bad situation in economy. People didn't have money. And unfortunately, my mother died a year before when I was 15. So basically, I was left here in Latvia. As I mentioned, my father was in Russia. So I was left here in Latvia, and I only had a set of grandparents who could support me, but anyhow, so basically I was on my own, which was, in a way, it was good because the parties were crazy and nobody asked me at what time I will be home. But again, that is also like a slippery way, because at the same time understood that I really need to work hard. I need to study hard to get somewhere. And at that time, actually, majority of the people went to study either the law or economics, because it was like the only professions where actually everybody thought you can make some money, you can earn money, and then these professions will be needed in the future, which is totally wrong. Because I mean, you should study what you really like. And what I really liked, I actually wanted to study journalism or philology, and this is something that I didn't do, and I went to study economics. And in order to support myself, I actually had to work at night. So basically, I worked in the casino at night, and then during the day, I went to the lectures. And then how I ended up in Swedbank. So prior to that, so I was working in the casino. And of course, it's a bad environment, and basically you can combine it with the studies. That was actually the only good thing, although it was really hard. So right now, when somebody asks me if you have a chance to study and not work, then please do that. If your parents have the possibility to support you, because otherwise somehow you have this study life and you have this work life, and this work life like sucks you in fully, like if I can say so. So basically the work becomes permanent and those studies go in the background, but actually it's really important to finish the studies. And then what is interesting fact about me, and again, some things in life that maybe don't matter, but at some point actually they come back to you in a very positive way. So I was studying until 9th grade in Riga Estonian school. I don't know if you know, but we have this Estonian school in Riga. And how I ended up in this Estonian school is that my mother was a teacher by her profession. She didn't work as a teacher, but she had many friends who did. And one of my mother's friends, she started to teach in this new school, Riga Estonian school. This was a school who was just establishing, and she said, "Oh, maybe bring Beāte to my school." And my mother thought, "Oh, great! This is my friend, she's a teacher there, I will bring Beāte also." So I had no connection whatsoever to Estonia, although many of my classmates did, and many of my classmates had Estonian mother or father or some grandparents. And we were like a small class, and I was studying there, and I knew Estonian language. But of course, if you don't use this language, you tend to forget it. But due to this knowledge of Estonian language, which I put in my CV when I was like in final years of the university, I got a call from some headhunter who said, "Oh, I see that you know Estonian, and Maxima, like this food store chain, they were looking for somebody who would know Estonian to work as an assistant in the marketing, because they were opening up in Estonia stores. At that point of time, they had no stores in Estonia, and so this was like my exit from this casino job to some serious, and I started to work as a marketing assistant there." So I worked in Maxima as a marketing assistant for 3 years and sales assistant. Then I had my first daughter, Karina, and then I went to maternity leave. And then while I was in maternity leave, again, some headhunter called me, and she said, "Oh, I know that you are working in Maxima, so I'm calling you to invite you to apply for a project manager's position in Institute of Agrarian Economy." So in Latvia, there used to be this kind of institute, because I had experience with like food and then marketing, so they decided to invite me there. And the pay was twice more than I actually was earning in Maxima. So I decided, why not? So I would try to go there. And I started to work there, and it was work with European projects. And the most important project was we had a project how to increase the consumption of fish in the society. So I imagine this is like a really interesting task to do, but what I understood when I was working there is that I'm not a person for the public sector. And this is a life lesson that I had to listen also a year ago, but anyhow, so I understood that I need a more dynamic environment for myself. Say state sector, it's more regulated. I need more flexibility, and so after 1.5 months in that job, I really understood that it's really not for me, and there could be another person who could do it more with his heart into that job. And so I was thinking what to do next, and I openly said to my boss at that time, "Hey, I mean, this place is great, the pay is great, but really I understand that I don't have my heart in that job, and maybe you should look for a better person for that." And they didn't want to let me go, but at that point of time, one of my internet friends, and at that point of time there was also Facebook, there was no Facebook, Instagram, and etc. There were some groups for the people, and in one of those groups, one of the girls was saying how she loves to work in Swedbank. At that point it was called Hansa Bank. And then, as I understood that I really need to switch this state environment to something else, then I went to work in Swedbank and applied for the first job that you could ever have there. It's the customer support specialist who works in the branch. And it was the job that I really loved, and I still love it. It was the best job ever, actually, to be very honest. I really liked those customers. I really liked the bank. I really liked the team. It was, I was really happy that I was coming home from that job, and I was flying. I was thinking, oh my God, I met so many good people today, and I managed to solve some banking issues for them, and I really liked it. And at that point of time in the banks, they also had good bonuses if you were selling. And that was still the time when not many people had the bank cards. So basically, bank paid you for every bank card that you sell. And the society was in general underbanked, and not many people were using internet bank at that point of time, which is like what we are all doing right now. And if you worked well, you actually could earn a lot of bonuses in that way. So I really liked that job. I really felt good there, and actually that's how my career started to develop in Swedbank, because my boss saw that I'm in like top 10 sales people in across the whole branches, and after a year in that position, she offered me to go to another position. And at that time, as the society was like underbanked, there was a group of people who worked in Swedbank, and they came to enterprises like the companies where people worked and were explaining how the banks work, what are the bank solutions, and etc. And they needed people to make presentations there about it. And that was my next job in the bank, that I was going to companies, making presentations, signing agreements about the new services, and etc. And then after that, I understood that I again need something more exciting. Then I started to work in Swedbank as a manager for the companies, like corporate customer manager who worked not with the private persons but with the companies, and was offering services to the companies. And I was a manager in the branch there for many companies. And what is interesting, that sometimes I meet those owners and the managers of those companies still in some other places, like in my career, and they still remember me from that branch, and I remember them. So it was also like a good place to meet new people. And then after that, I was offered a place as a project manager in cash management department, which was again a department that was responsible for all the products that bank is offering to companies except financing. So it's the accounts, the cards, those post terminals where you pay when you go to shops. So these kind of different things. And I was working for 1 year in that position as a project manager, and after a year I was offered a role to head all of that department. And this is actually that cash management department. So at one point of time I had 16 direct subordinates, which is crazy, because if you have 16 employees, it's really a nightmare. And also from the management theories, they are all saying that in order for you to be efficient manager and leader, you need to have up to 6 people who are direct subordinates. But this was like a great team. And Swedbank in general was a good place to grow, because that would be like my suggestion to you. So if you can apply for some even unpaid internship in big companies, is it Swedbank or some other brand that you really like and you believe that this is a good brand, please do it, because it's in my experience. In Swedbank, when I was also a manager there, then basically we took, I think, 3 interns who didn't receive any pay at that time, and now they are actually heads of departments there, and they are actually, one is even close to the board. So basically it's a good place to grow, it's a good place to prove yourself, and even if you decide on some other career path, then it stays in your CV that you have been there. And these big corporations, they actually teach you what are the right values, how the processes should be run, how you should handle things, and etc. So please apply for whatever big companies you can for paid or unpaid internship. I think it will be very valuable experience to you personally. Then after the bank, it was 2017 when Swedbank became more Baltics and more Baltic related, because probably you know that Swedbank is available in all countries, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, and then in 2016-17 there started like a consolidation, that prior to that each country could decide how they do things on their own, and there were differences for the customers as well, what customers can receive in Estonia, what customers can receive in Latvia. And then the bank started to consolidate, and there was less flexibility, and you cannot make new projects that easily. You should align them with other Baltic countries, sometimes with Sweden. And it became very boring to me. And at that point of time, I decided that I really want to change something in my career. And I applied for the position of CEO of Omniva in Latvia. I hope that you know what is Omniva, the parcel boxes in orange color. And in 2017, the previous CEO moved to Estonia, so he was Estonian, and they were looking for another person. So I applied to this position, and even though I didn't have like company management position, I was like the manager from Swedbank, who was managing a unit in Swedbank. I know that the supervisory board of Omniva in Latvia, at that point, they really felt my passion. They said that, okay, we see that you really want to be here, you really want to be in this company, so we are giving you a chance. So that's how I became a CEO of Omniva, despite the fact that I didn't have the CEO experience at that point of time. And these years in Omniva were actually really, really great. In the middle, we had also COVID, and I will explain you about that. But what is actually the thing that I want to say is that you really need to follow your passion and do what you like, and do the things that you truly believe are the ones that you are best at. Because my story, how I got to Omniva, is really a story that I really liked this company. I really wanted to be there. That's why I had like 4 rounds of this recruitment, where they actually asked me to do many homeworks and prove myself that I can be that CEO. But I really wanted to be there, so that's how I got there. And actually, you should never be afraid to take risk, because it was also a risk for me at that point of time to apply to head a company where I didn't have like direct experience of managing the company. But at the end of the day, it turned out really well. And about Omniva, the biggest, let's say, challenge for me during time in Omniva was the COVID time. I don't know if you remember the COVID time. Probably you had also to sit at home, study remotely. But for us in Omniva, it was like a crazy time, because we had so many parcels that we couldn't deliver because physical shops were closed, and you cannot, let's say, handle this kind of parcel volume. So just to understand, so this one parcel machine, Pakomat, so it has 200 doors and 200 lockers. And there were days when we were receiving 600 parcels per that one parcel machine. So basically you have only 200 lockers, and in one day you need to put 600 of those parcels in that lockers. And that's impossible, because, you know, it's not that we put the parcels and people immediately come to pick them up. If you have tried it, probably you are not picking up the parcel immediately. Maybe you are doing it the next day, maybe you are doing it in the evening. So basically it was like really crazy time. Because we couldn't put those parcels there. So that's why we decided that we will give out those parcels also from the vans. I don't know, maybe you or your parents were also receiving during COVID time those SMS that you pick up your parcel not in the parcel machine but in the van. I know that a lot of kids actually came to pick up those parcels. Yeah, I see that some of you have done that. And this was before Christmas, this picture. And there were so many parcels that this parcel machine was full, and 3 vans were actually full. I think it's in Jelgava, if I'm not wrong. So there is one very popular place where people are ordering parcels. So we actually had to take 3 vans and full parcel machine to deliver all of those parcels before Christmas, because, as you know, people are ordering before Christmas. They want to give Christmas presents, and this was like true crisis management. And this is actually me. So it's not that you only deliver the parcels to parcel machines, but there are, as you see, some bigger parcels which don't fit into parcel machines, or the person has ordered them to their home so that he wants it to deliver to their home, not to parcel machine. And there were, again, so many parcels that me as a CEO, my colleagues, accountant, logistics manager, sales managers, we were all driving those vans to deliver those parcels. And this is, again, the time where you can learn a lot how to manage the crisis in your company, that you should actually show that you are not the person who is sitting in the office and just thinking what to do. You actually need to show your employees and people that you are also doing the things. So and this was one of the Saturdays when I was driving as a courier and delivering those parcels, and I was driving and delivering those, and And it was funny thing because you know I wasn't dressed like a courier. I wasn't dressed also as an office lady. Let's say I just put on the clothes that I had, and it was cold, and I was driving and delivering those parcels. And in one house there were two big parcels, and the guy came out and he said, "Oh, you have girls working in your company as well?" And I'm saying yes. So of course we have girls. You know, as you see, there are a lot of parcels, and we lack the workforce, and it's COVID. And he said, "Oh, I'm feeling so sorry for you," and he gave me this chocolate. And it was like a nice thing. And of course I didn't mention that who I am and that I'm a CEO of the company, but it was a nice moment, and it was for all the colleagues from the office who did that, it was like very enlightening, because now when you actually see what your company is doing on a daily basis, how the couriers work, it just gives you a great experience actually, and you can understand how you need to change the processes in your company, because you have done that job and you know what couriers miss in their daily work. And the last story about Omniva was also about taking some kind of risks. And I always care about the companies where I work. And this is like a real life picture. And these are those big numbers of parcels that we couldn't deliver, because at this point in the day, the warehouse should be empty. It wasn't empty because we had no place to put those parcels, because those parcel machines were all full. And I really always care about the reputation of the company where I work. And at that point of time, there is this Facebook group called Labi dzīvot Āgenskalnā. So it's like one of the areas of Riga, which has a Facebook group. I believe many areas of Riga has this Facebook group, but this was the Facebook group where I was in. And some lady wrote that she has a problem getting Omniva parcel. It's late, and she was asking other people to pick up their parcels quicker. And as I really and truly cared about this company, then of course I as a leader, I thought, oh, I need to make a comment here, because funny thing about Facebook is that you cannot make comments in those groups under company name. You actually can only make comments under your personal account. And I said that, hey, I'm really sorry, so we are doing the best that we can, but if somebody has some very urgent parcel, please write me personally. I will take care that your parcel is being delivered. And then I started to get hundreds of messages about that. There were hundreds of messages, and there were like some lady had her teeth, like extra teeth that needed to be delivered on time. Some lady had a wedding dress that needed to be delivered on time. Some had medicine that needed to be delivered. So basically each of those urgent parcels were something where people were expecting something. And of course, if you are expecting a wedding dress, you will not move your wedding if the dress is late. And then basically, so I think I received approximately 200 messages in total. But what was the good thing, that actually my team in Omniva said that okay, we will do that, no problem, and they helped to look for those parcels. So basically each of those 200 parcels, my team went and they looked for those, and we actually managed to deliver them quicker than others. And there was a funny story that in the beginning, like, nobody knew that how those urgent parcels arrived to me. They thought that they are all my friends and family who are calling me. And there was a special place where they put those parcels in the warehouse, and they called this place the pallet of Beāte's friends, Beāte's draudzeņu palete, because they were thinking that those are all my friends who are calling for those parcels, but no, but that were actually a lot of unknown people. And what is the funny thing, that few of those people who wrote me about those urgent parcels are now my friends in Facebook, and they are like giving good comments to my photos or something. So it's also a funny thing. I helped them to get those parcels, and they are even sending me birthday wishes still up to this moment. Yeah, so that was you know, in a sense, the story about the courage. And then how I got to Latvia Post. I worked in Omniva for 6 years, and everything was great. The team was great. The results were great. We handled the COVID crisis, and it was a very valuable experience. From my team's initiative, we actually initiated that Omniva change the branding, create a new webpage, and these kind of things that we sold like to the group, to Estonia and Lithuania, and we managed this project from Latvia. But after 6 years, I also understood that it's time for me to do something else. That I see that I can no longer maybe try something new there, and at the same time, Omniva was changing structure in the company. So there used to be that Omniva in Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania has the CEO, which I was, and my colleagues were the CEOs. And at that point of time, the company decided that there will be no country managers or country CEOs. It's just that the responsibility would be divided differently. So me, my Lithuanian and Estonian colleagues, we were offered different roles in the company that wouldn't be a role of CEO, but let's say to manage some structure, but across 3 countries. But you would only be responsible for some part of the business, but not the whole business. And then I decided that it's time for me to leave, that I wouldn't want to do that. And at the same time, I got the call that, hey, Beāte, previous CEO of Latvia Post has been fired. Could you come and help us fix Latvia Post? And then I decided that, hey, why not? If this opportunity comes at this time, then I was watching like for 6 years when I was in Omniva that the Latvia Post was not developing in maybe a right way, and I decided that this is my chance to help to do that. But unfortunately, Latvia Post is a state-owned company, and I didn't learn from my previous experience that I'm not like a state company person. And that is just what I can admit to myself. So during 1 year in Latvia Post, I really helped to streamline some processes there. And at the same time, we had a lot of political pressure that we shouldn't close postal offices, that why are we making this employee event. So this is actually not what I wrote. This is a copy from one internet article that Post is making employee event for 180,000 euro and closing 155 post offices. So this was not true, because it didn't cost 180,000, it cost a lot less. And we were actually not willing to close all the post offices, so it was very, very exaggerated. But from public perspective, it was really hard for me personally. And here you see that this is me. This is Minister Briškens sitting here. So we were sitting at the crisis table and understanding how to deal with it, because it was actually a big problem. Because who of you has visited post office in last couple of months? Maybe you can raise your hand. Like few people. And that's again the story. So what Latvia needs is actually that if we keep those post offices and keep them working, actually each and any of us should visit it at least once per month to do something. But the issue is that majority of those post offices in Latvia, there are even places where 3 people come per day, only 3 people, but you need to keep the office open and etc. And at the same time, you need to deliver the results. You need to pay good salary to the employees. You need to raise those salaries, because unfortunately in Latvia Post, for many of the people and many postmen, the salaries were really, really small. And how you're able to do that from economics perspective, only just to consider what is the best way for the company to operate and maybe close those post offices. And the issue was that Minister Briškens, who is actually a well-educated minister and has a background of Stockholm School of Economics, he understands that perfectly. me, I of course understand that perfectly. But here is a gentleman from Latvijas pašvaldības savienība. It's like union of municipalities who are of course against closing the post offices in their places, and we are all like tied together that we need to understand how to do that and what decisions needs to be made. And again, there are people who are making public statements that are not true, so it was really, really hard. But at the end of the day, the Post figured out the situation, and actually we worked out a plan how we can keep the post offices running while still increasing a part of the salary to employees and cutting just part of the operations. But it's still a problem, and basically in 2-3 years the Post will need bigger transformation. And we also made an event for employees, which, as I mentioned, didn't cost that much money, but it was the best event ever because it was attended by 832 employees. And as you can imagine, 800 people, it's so many people, and this was the most attended event by employees of Latvia Post in its history. So it was not a lot of events who were attended there. And the people, we were actually giving awards to the best postman, and people in the rural areas, they were voting for their postman and for their best employees. And those people there were stepping on the stage and they were really crying. And it was so emotional that I will never forget this. So it was a really great event. But then afterwards, I decided that this, let's say, the Post has really many problems that will need to be solved in upcoming years, and the public scrutiny is really hard. And if you have a political pressure to make a decision, then it's really hard personally. So I decided to leave Latvia Post, although I was offered actually to stay for a longer term and keep the changes in the Post, because supervisory board and also the ministry, they saw that the Post is actually heading somewhere, and finally there are changes in the Post. But I understood that for me personally, as a person, this is really hard. I think I couldn't speak normally to my family for many months, because I came back from work and I was totally still at work in my mind. And still it has been almost a year since I left Latvia Post, and I'm still doing weekly sessions with the therapist just to fix my mind and to understand that this is just a part of life where you learn something. Yeah, and a funny thing, that when I decided to leave Post, another opportunity came, and I was headhunted for this company who is making ammunition. Again, maybe I have some track record of fixing the companies that could perform better, but maybe they are not. So now I'm fixing this company, and we're also having some great things that we want to accomplish. Yeah, and what is actually the thing that I want to tell you about all of this is that whenever you are working somewhere, you establish relationships for all of your life, and actually you should take care of the people who you work with, and you need to be humble, and you need to keep those relationships, because when I was exiting from Latvia Post, then I received like I don't know, some few hundred of this kind of messages where people were thanking me for the work that we have done together. 10 people wrote me, "Whenever you go, please take me with you. I want to work with you. And then I will come to whatever company you go as leader." And this is the best compliment that you can actually get in your life, because you never know where you will meet people. And it has been so many times in my life that, as I explained, I was working in a branch as a manager, and then I'm meeting actually this company for whom I was a manager in Latvia Post, and they come and they say, for example, "We want to sell our services then to Post." There are so many examples like that, and I really wish, I think this is the best compliment that you can have. People appreciate you, and they want to work with you, and they really support you. And about the people, so what I also wanted to tell you, cherish your friendships. And these are my high school girlfriends. So it's us in '99 and it's us last summer. So the time goes by and people change, but you really need to cherish those relationships. And I think I really made my best friends in high school. And even if I was finishing high school, I didn't know that me and these girls, we will be together for so many years. And even when time went by, we actually lost some contact for a few years. Maybe everybody was in their own jobs, in their own families. But then at some point we reunited, and now we are still keeping the relationship. We are meeting at least monthly to do something together. So this is something that you really appreciate those people, because they come from the same background and you have done some things together, and you should actually cherish that, because again, you don't know how life will turn out. And the funny thing is that Annette, for example, my friend, she already in high school, she knew what she wants to do. So she said, I want to be an architect. I want to work as an architect. And this is what she pursued. And she went to these extra classes of drawing. And she's actually now an architect, and she's working there. And then she helped me also with some architectural questions for my house as well. And Inga, my friend, she actually studied journalism, what I want to do at some point of time, but she actually worked as a journalist only for a few years, and now she's working in procurement. So basically, again, a different career, how it can turn out. One of my friends, Diana, she actually started to study in many universities, but she didn't finish the bachelor's degree in any of them, but she's working in the medical sector right now. And actually, she's a medical sales representative, and she really loves that. So you never know how your career will turn out, but the people who you have in your life, please don't lose them, because they are really great. Again, another thing about Liga. So Liga is not in this picture. She was missing. I don't know where she was taking that picture, but Liga is here with the baby. What I wanted to do. So Liga was the smartest person in our class. So she had only grades 9 and 10, and she was like super smart. She was reading books all the time, and we thought that she will become a scientist or something. But actually, Liga is an accountant now. She's working as a chief accountant, and she really likes this job. And she said, of course, you know, maybe I should try something else, but I really love those numbers, and I really love this accounting. And I know that I have actually worked with Liga together. I once hired, she was an accountant in Omniva prior, when she had her third baby, and she was actually the best accountant. She was always precise. She was always thinking 2 steps ahead. So again, if you like the numbers, if you like what you do, you should really follow the dream, because Liga, yeah, she's perfect in what she does. Yeah, and this is my youngest daughter, but what I wanted to say with this picture is that the universe has no other hands but yours. And if you want to do something, then basically you should do it yourself and not wait for something to fall from the sky or that somebody will help you. Just use your hands and trust in yourself, because I think everything that you do will again bring you the value and bring you closer to the result that you expect. And the only place where success comes before work is the dictionary. So if you know the dictionary, you know the alphabet. So that's how it happens. And again, about me and about my success, maybe where I am at this point of time, it really came from hard work, because as you know, my mother died, my father was in Russia, and I would say that everything that I achieved in my life is based on this hard work, although maybe it doesn't seem like that. But my hardest work, I would say, was in Swedbank when I was building my career. And I actually started to work in Swedbank when I was 24, so it was not 18, 19, and if I would have the possibility to turn back the time, maybe I would have gone to Swedbank even quicker. But I really worked hard there. I really worked hard in the branch with those sales, as I told you. So that's how people saw me, and they saw that I'm in those top 10 sellers. And and offered me another role. But even further in career in Swedbank, I worked really hard, and even there were some days when I was sitting until 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening at work and doing some things because you needed to do them. You need to show that you can, and actually that's how this career turned out to be. So the first start in life, I would say the first 10 years of your career is where you need to put maximum effort. And if you want really to build your career in whatever area, not only banking or other, as long as you don't have kids and you don't have any other things, if you want to succeed, you really need to put in much effort, because then afterwards in life it like comes back to you, because you have worked for your name. And there was also some old saying that the first year, in first years in your career, you work to build your name, and then afterwards, after you're 40 years old, and further, your name works for you, so that people know who you are, and they actually invite you to some project and some actions. Yeah, and the last thing I wanted to emphasize, that really you can achieve anything you want, because if when I was 16 years old, if somebody would tell me that I would be a CEO of some companies, I would laugh out loud and tell the same way I wrote in my dictionary that I'm definitely too stupid to do that, or I'm too fat to do that, or something like that. But I really want you to believe in yourself, because everything is possible, and people will look at you and help you as soon as you have initiative. If you have something you truly believe in, people will admire that, because there are not so many people who follow their dreams. So that's why I really encourage you to do so, and to follow whatever is your passion, whatever you really want to do, because success will eventually follow. Either you want to be a banker, or you want to be a scientist, or you want to be a nurse in a hospital. So whatever you want, you can accomplish anything. So, and I really keep my fingers crossed that everything happens the way you want. Thank you.